Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, it's a massive story that we're breaking on the top of the hour. Stay tuned because this is a huge news break. On the 1st of March, viewers, 2024, an IED explosion at Bengaluru's Rameshwaram cafe left 9 people injured and India's IT capital shell-shocked. Tonight, on the Blueprint Explosive Exclusive, we reveal to you how the blast was not just a one-off act of terror, but could have been a lot more. What if we told you, viewers, that one of Bengaluru's most popular eateries was not even the first target? Yes, that's right. Times Now's accessed exclusive details of the NIA charge sheet filed in this case, and it turns out that the initial target was actually the state BJP office in Bengaluru's Malleshwaram. In fact, the BJP office that was on target was wrecked by the accused all the way back in November 2023. And that's not all, viewers. The blast was planned on the day of the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha, that is the 22nd of January. The accused has procured the material and assembled the IED in Chennai. However, the bomb that was eventually planted at the BJP office failed to explode and was never detected. It was then that the accused had wrecked the Rameshwaram cafe. The intent was to cause death and create terror amongst the general public. The accused also wore a cap and mask to conceal his identity while planting the IED in the Rameshwaram cafe blast, which eventually injured 9 people and damaged property worth over 5 lakh rupees. Let's take this across to our reporters who are joining us at the moment. We have Bhavtosh and Deepak joining us. I'm going to go across to Deepak Bopanna, who's bringing us this exclusive story. First and foremost, this is a massive revelation coming in, Deepak, as far as this particular story is concerned, because, you know, it is, of course, not just a matter of the Rameshwaram blast probe, but what really was the mentality of these terrorists who were planning to carry out various strikes at the behest of Pakistan's ISI.
Well, absolutely, Madhav, and the charge sheet, of course, it goes into each and every detail, starting from, the antecedents of these accused, because it was not just the Rameshwaram cafe blast. It was, their involvement in terror activities dates back to as early as 2019. Even the Al Hind module, the cases that were registered in Chennai. 2 of these men, the main bomber here and also Taha Mateen, have been on the run for several years now. They've been planning meticulously. They've been recruiting, youth to further their agenda, and this agenda, of course, was given to them by their online handlers, and some of them operating out of Pakistan is something that the NIA charge sheet specifically goes into. They're also, of course, talking about various hideouts, various stages of planning, various stages of training that they got, but some of the startling details that find a mention in the charge sheet is that the Rameshwaram cafe, of course, was an eventual location that they planned to target. Before that, they actually wrecked the BJP office. They wanted to strike terror on a day where the country was celebrating the return of, Lord Ram to Ayodhya. On the day of Pran Pratishtha, they wanted to actually carry out an attack in Bengaluru. This is something that the charge sheet mentions. They even, plant an IED at the office and leave from there, immediately head towards the neighboring state of Tamil Nadu. And fortunately, there was no blast that took place there. They were not able to, of course, retrieve that particular IED as well. Now, meanwhile, after all of this meticulous planning, they again go ahead and assemble another IED and then bring it to Bengaluru and then plant it at Rameshwaram, cafe. After the explosion, go to a nearby, masjid. There, change clothes. One of the caps that he had worn, of course, was left behind, which was a crucial part of the evidence that the NIA got hold of. Using this, of course, they traced back multiple CCTVs, and finally, of course, they've managed to arrest them from West Bengal, and they were hiding out before West Bengal, even in Chennai, moving to Ooty as well. There was a lot that was...
Well, a lot of work that the agency has certainly done in piecing together the plot behind the Rameshwaram blast. Stay with us, Deepak, because there's more revelations coming in. The ISIS link also emerging in the entire matter, because as per the NIA charge sheet, members of ISIS hatched this conspiracy with an intent to identify innocent Muslim youth, radicalize them and recruit them to conduct terror activities. Online handlers funded these terror activities and arson were planned at several locations on their instructions. So which were these other places on target? Well, the accused had also planned to cause unrest at the Lal Bagh, Not just that, also the BMTC bus stand in Yeshwantpur as well as the Kempegowda bus stand. These were all on target. And let me take this across to Bhavtosh. Bhavtosh, these are important landmarks in Bengaluru that we're talking about, and very significant that the NIA managed to nab all of these individuals before they could create more mayhem, create more trouble at any of these locations. But what's very significant is that the role of Pakistan, the role of ISIS also now emerging.
Yes, Madhav, in fact, this is not just a module that has been, in fact, self-radicalized or has just got radicalized by reading inflammatory articles online. What is most disturbing in this entire investigation that has been carried out by the Federal Probe Agency is the fact that the accused in this case had received funding through cryptocurrency, and this was being done for past 4 years. The charge sheet that has been accessed by Deepak clearly mentions the fact that these accused from 2020 onwards till Rameshwaram blast were receiving funding through cryptocurrencies, and through Telegram and other virtual mode they were actually getting these fundings. Now the accused in this case does not even know who is the person who has been identified as Colonel. This is the level of secrecy that has happened as far as this case is concerned. They don't know who was the person who was giving them instructions or who was in fact giving them finance. Now they were in fact, they managed to radicalize several Muslim youths. Some of them were studying in engineering college. We all remember the Bangalore blast that had happened, in which IED which was assembled in pressure cooker that blew off, which in fact led to an investigation, a separate investigation by the Enforcement Directorate, which in fact found out about the cryptocurrency. But importantly, there are several modules which are still very active. Now this particular module is part of Al Hind module that in fact was busted by the Karnataka police in 2020. Agencies say that there are still members who are in fact still operating, and they are trying to hunt them down and arrest them.
Right. And very quickly, Deepak, have all the members of this module been arrested? What is the status of the investigation? Of course, the charge sheet has been filed, as we all know, but in terms of actually taking this through the judicial process, can you get us a quick update on where the Rameshwaram case is at the moment?
Well, one charge sheet has been filed. We are expecting them to file a supplementary charge sheet. More importantly, of course, some of the key accused here is the bomber himself, Taha Mateen, of course, who's wanted not just in the Bengaluru, cafe blast. He's wanted in the Mangaluru cooker blast. He's wanted in the Shumoga trial blast. He escaped after that. He is also wanted in the graffiti case in Mangaluru, where there were, of course, pro-ISIS graffitis that were, drawn in the city of Mangaluru, Madhav. So this was a very crucial man that they've gotten hold of, and multiple others. And some of the accused who are interlinked as well, because they all are from the Shumoga Tirthalli region. And like Bhavtosh was pointing out, their antecedents date back to the Al Hind module as well. So this was a very crucial breakthrough. But one of the individuals we were talking about, of course, this is accused number 6. He's still absconding. The NIA is yet to nab him, and they believe that he still is hiding out in Pakistan, is operating from there. So what is the connection that he has to Pakistan there? And this is something that the NIA, of course, will try to decipher.
All right, we'll keep coming back to you as and when the developments do take place. Deepak, massive news break right here on Times Now that Deepak Bopana is breaking on Times Now. I'd like to thank Deepak for bringing us this exclusive story, and to Bhavtosh Singh as well for explaining that and breaking it down for us. Let's quickly take it across to our guest now. Joining us with us is Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP UP, Colonel Dini, retired defense expert, is also with us. But I want to go first and foremost to Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer. Ms. Azad, very disturbing set of revelations coming out of that particular charge sheet. It wasn't just the Rameshwaram blast, but several landmarks, including a political party, that is the BJP's office, that was on target, and their intention was to wreak havoc, or at least attempt to do so, on the day of the Pran Pratishtha.
Yeah, these are the known activities which are planned by the ISIS module. There could have been others also which may be exploring through the other agents who are still deep under deep cover and may be exposed later. I would certainly congratulate NIA for excellent work in this regard. But yes, the attack first, which was planned on against the BJP headquarters, the office, on the Pran Pratishtha date is very, very significant, because that is with a pure intent. While the blast at cafe was to create confusion and terror, the one at the BJP had a precise motive in mind. The other thing which I want to press upon here is that Taha has been working for a number of years, and the Khorasan province, from where the ISIS activities are conducted in Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and the Central Asia. It's very, very active in India. It just goes to the credit of the security agencies that they have not been able to attack more installations. But you'd recall that a lot of people had responded to the call of ISIS from Kerala, and many of them were interrogated by the intelligence agencies, from which one got a horrific picture of what they were attempting through their online recruitment, etc., and how many of them, many educated people, had been, radicalized. That game is still on. And the other agency which was banned in Kerala, there was a lot of also inter-movement, that terror agency which was banned in Kerala. So there was a lot of inter-movement. It started from Simi and went down. And therefore, this core component will always be a kind of a threat to India. And it's good that the security grid today is strong. The Bangalore police did an excellent work. And one of the most important things that we must point out, we must remember in this case, is the radicalization and the contact which is happening in the prisons. In the prisons, this kind of a network is giving rise not only this terror planning, but also, gangland activities, organized crimes. And therefore, one of the things I think I would suggest to the government to actively look at is the prison cleaning up and the reforms.
Very, very important points indeed that have been made by you, of course, Mr. Yashwardhan Azad. But I'd also like to bring in Dr. Vikram Singh on this. Dr. Vikram Singh, one of the key aspects is, of course, something that we all know, but once again, a Pak link that is emerging. And, the very fact that they're able to fund these activities through online transfers, that the handlers are still in Pakistan, it's once again a repeat of a very, very familiar script here in India.
Very true, and on expected lines too. Cryptocurrency, Hawala movement, you name it, and it's there. And as my learned friend, Mr. Yashwardhan Azad Ji, has mentioned, we go back to the days of Simi, then followed by the evolution of Indian Mujahideen, thereafter other modules as well. The Khorasan module is active, and yes, we do have sleeper cell. But if we have sleeper cells that are activated, and then to give the impression that this is homegrown revolt or a terrorism, that is the basic footprint. And of course, you would have heard that even the basic operators are not aware of who the handlers are. This is typical of the fact the ISI, where the ISI ends, the ISIS begins, and therefore it has to be a multi-pronged challenge, a multi-pronged response also. Cleaning up the jails, jail reforms, as also de-radicalization, and also upping the antennae of the intelligence to generate actionable intelligence. If there are sleeper cells, although we have covered ourselves with glory, given an excellent account of cells, but there is miles to go before we sleep, and indeed we have to be a generation ahead of the terrorists and the devious designs. And to that extent, we have to have the sister agencies working together and developing actionable intelligence so as to give a befitting reply to all such anti-national.
All right. I believe there are some reactions coming into this. Let's quickly listen into that. I'm coming to you, Colonel Dini. All right, political reactions have started coming in on the Bengaluru Rameshwaram blast charge sheet. Congress has called it intelligence failure. The BJP is also reacting to this. Let's listen into that reaction.
You had a government in Karnataka, you had a government in Central, NIA is handling the case. For 4 years, this guy was not on the, not in the radar. So it is the failure of the intelligence of the central government, failure of the NIA, failure of the whatever intelligence agencies Mr. Modi and the BJP has. So their failure cannot be blamed on others. What have we got to do with that? It is your failure. You could not arrest him and apprehend him from last 4 years.
First of all, we would like to thank NIA for coming out with the truth. Because from day one, when there was a Mangalore blast, DK Shukumar came out and told that he's a brother, it was a single person doing that, he's not a terrorist and all these things. After the NIA charge sheet, we have come to know that the Mangalore bomb blast, Cooker bomb blast accused Shakir was in touch with the one of the accused of the Rameshwar blast also. Following that, when the Rameshwar blast was there, the whole of the Congress leaders, everyone came out in support of the.
All right, Colonel Dini, very familiar script over there. Politics over terror, unfortunately, in this country continues to rage. There's a blame game happening, whether it's the BJP at the state, at the center, whichever political party may be in power. The blame game only continues. The larger and most important aspect is that the person who's responsible for multiple attacks, including the Bengaluru pressure cooker blast and several other such plots, is now behind bars, and that has to be given credit.
Absolutely, Madhav. There's no doubt that credit goes to the NIA and all other agencies involved in this particular case, and it just shows the kind of false calmness which we all live in. It just takes one incident to wake up all of us from our that perceived sort of everything is normal. It is not normal, because on a daily basis there are people who are planning. There are people who want to execute, various kinds of nefarious activities in India, and definitely, this particular case is one such incident. So, therefore, I would like to give the complete credit to the NIA and all other police and other agencies, because most of the time these people never get any credit. It's only they get the blame if something goes wrong. Like even in this case. A person has to be, it's not as if somebody is standing outside just to, tell, it's as easy as, please come and catch. They are part of an ecosystem, they are part of an ecosystem which has to be cracked. The counterintelligence has to be there, the way they have been funding, all these things have to be taken care of. And that's where I think our agencies are doing a fantastic job, in which, by God's grace, we are able to maintain, such peace, even when there is so much of pressure to create some kind of unrest in India. We have seen in multiple occasions, and I think this particular incident, if at all, just imagine, Madhav, if it had happened on the day when Pran Pratishtha was being carried out in Ayodhya, what would have been the impact on India? I mean, I can only imagine that the entire country would have been burning, because that particular day the whole nation was in a different field altogether, and here you have a blast. So therefore, this is all done with the planning. And therefore, I believe that it is not a time for any political, blamemanship and all. And that is exactly what these people,
that's what they thrive on, and that's what their entire intent is. Very, very true, Colonel Dini there. And we have to laud our agencies for being able to crack this particular plot and also really reveal what was in the minds of those who are planning such dastardly attacks. I'd like to thank Dr. Vikram Singh, Yashovardhan Azad and Colonel Dini for joining us this evening.